Just hoping that this works and that we are going live. It did a couple flashes. My screen's flashing a little bit, so I don't know if this is working.
Bummer. What are the people gonna do without it?
Not that we've ever had anyone come live, but I just want to be able to do it all in one take, and it looks.
We're gonna put my phone number out. I'm gonna let people call it, leave voicemails, and we'll play your voicemails and respond to them on the air.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, sounds good to me. When I go to the channel, I think we're live, so welcome to whoever might watch this. We're just going
I'm not ready.
We're just going to go over some of our picks from, I guess, the past weekend. We don't really need to go over them, but we're just going to discuss the games. If you watched the days before, we did all right. Like, none of us went busto, so...
surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly. I don't think it's working. This is driving me crazy. Oh, no, it definitely is working. Okay. Good.
Man. You gotta use, like, dark mode or something. This shit is too bright. So we are live now. Can we confirm?
Yeah, we're definitely live. We're on the right channel this time. This is the third time's a charm. So yeah, welcome.
Natural progress.
We had some great NFL games this past weekend. Some heartbreakers. Some crazy upsets. Some expected wins by some teams. I think. And sure enough, my crazy hot take going out into left field earlier in the podcast is already dead. So there's that as well. So go ahead.
I think this weekend was crazier than last weekend, and that's saying something. Because I thought the games in wildcard round were really good. This round was, I think, even better. We got to see some real firepower. I know we talked about one of the things was which conference was going to score more points. If you remember that,
I do. Yeah.
I think we have a pretty clear winner. Thank you, Chiefs.
Thank you, Chiefs.
Putting up 51, right? 7 straight possessions and something. I don't know, but that was a good call. We had that right. We did pick the AFC with that. Yeah. So should we probably hop into our picks? Let's go over what we picked. Let's update our records real quick for the people where we're at for the wildcard round.
Sounds good. So we'll start with you. First week you went 3-1, and this is all against the spread. We're not picking winners. We're picking against the spread, like real tough guys we are. So you went 3-1 the first week, and then I guess we're just gonna say 2-2 this week. Right? And then yes. I did the complete opposite. In the first week, I went 2-2, and then this past weekend, I was the guy that went 3-1. So it's pretty funny because I remember we're pretty divided in our picks. I think we had 3 different picks. We both landed on the Chiefs, which looked awful after the first quarter.
Yeah. I feel like I've been there I felt the Chiefs fan at that point. But honestly, the fact that they took the lead before halftime to me is still the story of that game. That's just insane.
Yeah, we'll get to that game. We'll start off with the first 2 games though, the Saturday games. Let's try and do this in the same order because I want to get to that game too because I think that might be the talk of maybe not. I'm getting ahead of myself. But San Francisco, Minnesota, this is where I went out on a limb, a pretty shaky limb, I guess, when I said Minnesota's going to win this game. They're going to cover the spread. I even said that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I might have been drinking a little bit before the podcast last time, but I did say it was going to come down to Kirk Cousins, and he was basically a non-factor in this game.
Yeah, I think my words were he was going to return to the Kirk Cousins of nothingness, really. Like we kind of got that. Like he didn't really, I don't know. It wasn't like he threw the game for them, but he didn't do anything like you saw in the wildcard round, for example, even where he looked like a pretty good quarterback then.
I think
this game.
Go ahead.
No, what was the spread on this one? I don't remember. I wish I wrote these down.
6.5. 6.5. So basically,
that's why you took the spread, kind of. You figured it'd be close enough.
I thought it'd be closer, but I also thought Minnesota had a chance to win, which they did, obviously. But I think I'm part of like the public in the fact that the public has underestimated San Fran all year, and I'm probably a little bit a part of that. Don't tend to watch a lot of their games, and when I do, they're usually winning, right? And that Kittle guy, he's definitely a beast, and it showed in the game. He was a big part of San Francisco's early possessions, and San Francisco, they just kind of like went out into a lead early in the game and didn't really have to look back. And their defense came out and basically shut down Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm trying to find here the stats that Kittle had here. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, so that ball was spread around a lot. I give the 49ers that. Kittle was a big part of it. But what's really amazing to me about the 49ers is, and it gives me hope as a Bills fan, just when I say this, is that the team doesn't really, it's not full of superstars. There's not many you can name. I mean, Kittle may be their biggest one this year because he's kind of popped off. But all over, like their depth is so good. That's why I have them, I think at this point, my NFC Super Bowl pick. I think they're just so deep. They're a complete team that can play really good defense with a quarterback who's more than competent, if not good. We could see he could move into maybe really good status if they could playoff here. But I think he's a solid quarterback, and you have a great defense. And and this is where I kind of circle back to a Bills fan kind of thing is. That's what I hope they would kind of mold themselves as. They're not going to ever be the Chiefs. They don't have Mahomes. They don't have a guy like that. They don't have an explosive offense. This is the team to model after, if anything, that's most similar to them. But the 49ers to me are really impressive. And their consistency this year, even into the playoffs now, has been fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's not like, I'm going to say this wrong, Garoppolo. It's not like he played amazing. Jimmy, yeah. He didn't play anything spectacular. 11 for 19, 131 yards. That's nothing. Like, that's pretty mediocre at best. 1 TD, 1 interception. So, like, it looks like, for the most part, and this has been a strong point of San Francisco all season, is their defense. Really, keeping Minnesota to 10 points is something to be proud of for sure. And like you said, they're spreading out the ball. How many interceptions does Cousins have? I think he had 1, so that ties Garoppolo. I know that was one of our Garoppolo. That was one of our prop bet things that we were talking about.
Yes.
I think we'll get to that in the next game of who that person was. But yeah, I don't know if there's a lot to say on this game other than pretty solid win for the 49ers and disappointing loss for the Minnesota Vikings. And
Yep. Yeah, I feel for Vikings fans. They're in a tough spot with Kirk Cousins, I think. They're a good team, but 49ers are I'm still impressed by them. They're my pick right now for the NFC. Sorry, Packers. But we're going to get to that game too, which I'm interested in. But what do you think? Anything else about this 49ers game stick out to you? Or you?
No, not too much. No, I'm pretty much ready to move on.
Yeah, that was a good sound win for the 49ers.
So
next we got we're hopping over to the AFC then. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, just AFC
Titans
Ravens, and unfortunately, I'm gonna let you take the reign a little bit on this one because of all the weekend I was busy this night, so I didn't have a chance to watch the game. I was just staring at my phone. I look down, I see 14-0. I'm like, holy, it might happen. Mind you, I did take Tennessee to cover because I thought their defense would keep it close, and the spread was 9.5, so that was a pretty big spread. I thought their defense would keep it close, and with Henry, they'd be able to just play their slow game and bring the clock and limit the amount of possessions that Jacksonville has. So that was what I looked at going into the game. And yeah, I saw 14-0, and then the rest played out. But you tell me what you saw, because I know you actually had your eyes on this game.
I think I said last week when we watched the wild card round, if you weren't a fan of Derrick Henry before, you'd be a fan of him now. And then he took it up another level by throwing a touchdown pass in this game. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't actually.
He about the 6-yard line. He did. He gets a direct snap. he pulls up and just literally jumps up in the air and jump tosses it to the back of the end zone. It was sweet. Yeah,
it's kind of funny that I didn't realize, but that seems to be, there's been a lot of kind of trickery so far in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of like that. Like even the Bills did it, and I know there's been a couple other instances as well. I don't know if it's stemming from the Eagles a couple years ago when they were doing that a lot, and then now other teams are maybe starting to adopt it more often. At least always got to have defense on their toes. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think one thing of all that, we really haven't seen too much in the kicking game, like onside kicks and things like that. Like that's been pretty mild, I think. I don't think I've seen too many, no surprise ones even this year. But you're right. There's been a lot of, just you got wide receivers throwing touchdowns, running backs, quarterbacks catching touchdowns. It's been a wild playoff here. So getting back to Derrick Henry real quick.
Yes, please do.
This guy, I could watch him stiff arm someone for 9 hours straight, probably. Just get a kick out of it. He is just a beast. His speed, like he breaks off this one run where he hits the hole perfectly and just, man, he hits it with speed and he's running by three guys. Just the safety catches him on a nice angle, but like the speed for a guy who's like 250, runs like a truck.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I don't know if you heard his stat line, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's 30 carries.
Yep.
195 yards. That is like, what do we go back 5, 6, 7 plus years? And this is the kind of like running you maybe see out of teams, but like the Titans are pulling it off. So it's crazy how good Derrick Henry is. And what's even more interesting, and I won't talk about this too much, but we maybe will have an off-season pod about this, but his contract's up. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Titans too and how they move forward with Henry, if they pay a cowbell like that, or I don't know. The way the league's been shifting with running backs' value going down, but I mean, he's been impressive. Can't deny.
Yeah, like I know Tannehill threw for under 100 yards, so like I know he's been giving them what they want with just pass completions, but on this night it didn't look like he 7 for 14, 50%, 88 yards. Like that's nothing. So
yeah, but that's the point though, because they got ahead early. They could just keep running Henry.
Yeah.
Tannehill was effective when he needed to be. He threw 2 touchdowns, I think, in that game, didn't he?
Yeah. He threw no, Tannehill. No, he threw 1, I believe.
No, he threw 2 touchdowns.
You're right.
Like, 2, Henry threw 1 as well, but yeah. I mean, it was the Derrick Henry show, but like that's what happens when you took the lead on them, and the Titans' defense really came up big at times. The turnovers killed the Ravens, but for the Titans, it was definitely a Derrick Henry show. The Titans really did a good job shutting down Lamar Jackson too. There were some talks. Even the Bills got some props too. I'm going back to Bills again here. I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
But they got some props actually from some post-game coverage there, that when the Bills played the Ravens and slowed Lamar Jackson down, really the first team that was able to do that, they modeled the same kind of defense there, where you have athletic enough linebackers, they're able to like spy him just enough, and they want to keep the pocket. You don't want to push him in. You want to keep the pocket kind of wide and have the gaps filled, so if he does run out, you know the holes he's coming. But I mean, then you still got a dedicated guy to him. But you'll see, like it's kind of like a slow rush on the edges. They'll run, helps kind of keep the pocket contained. You want to keep him in the pocket and make him throw, if anything.
So I know that Lamar, he threw 2 interceptions, which I believe was the most of any quarterback on the weekend.
Yeah.
And that was one of our prop bets. We were trying to guess who would throw the most. I thought about picking him, but I didn't.
I'm surprised 2-1.
I'm surprised 2-1 as well.
To be honest with you, and just to backtrack too, I don't want to give the Titans too much props here with their quality of using that defense that the Bills use against Lamar Jackson, because honestly, he still tore them up. We'll go over the Ravens probably next year. The Bills should shift to him now. But I mean, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens offense still moved that ball nonstop up and down the field. I think they had some questionable decisions on like 4th and short. They also just couldn't finish. The turnovers killed them, obviously. And the Titans could just run all over them. But I mean, look at the stats they put up. I mean, Lamar Jackson was 31 for 59, 365 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. I mean, it's way better than what he did.
And he rushed for 150 yards.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
I guess the whole thing with having Henry have the ball and all those carry and all that and all the clock it eats up, it just limited the possessions of Jackson. And then when he throws 2 picks, that's even less possessions where they have to score. And it looks like that's just what came through. Definitely the biggest upset of the weekend, if not the only upset.
Yeah, and I would put more of this loss on the Ravens defense.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, you can't let a guy run 200 yards on you. That's crazy to me. They didn't have to use their quarterback. That's even more impressive in 2019, really. But I don't know. Maybe things are a little cyclical, and we'll see some teams switching to kind of a guy like Henry, who's a big, fast running back. There's not that many, but I think they're definitely out there. Guys are so athletic nowadays. Maybe you'll see more of a reliance on the run game, but I really don't think so. I think passing is still the future of football and continues to be, and it'll even become even more so. But
yeah, and without getting into like a preview of their next game, I'm definitely excited to see the rematch between the Titans and the Chiefs, because Titans actually beat the Chiefs in the regular season. So
right, yeah, that's gonna be a good game. If I had to put money on it, I have to go with the Chiefs, but because I feel like it's one of those things where if the Chiefs, to me, go up 14-0 early, they just score in their first 2 possessions, their first 2 or 3, and Titans get like a field goal, it's 14-3 or something.
It's a big hole.
Can't play their game as much.
Yep.
You gotta they're gonna have to move the ball quicker, and if Henry's not slashing the defense, then they're in trouble.
Yeah, we'll get into that more in depth later.
Yeah, that's coming up. So you're right.
Cool. All right, any last thoughts other than wow?
No. Sorry, Ravens. Good job, Titans. You guys are impressing me. Good luck.
Seriously,
that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. So and then Sunday. So this is kind of funny for me. I have a little bit of a story. So my girlfriend, as you know, big Chiefs fan. She's pumped for the playoffs. She relies on me to tell her when the kickoff's going to happen for a game. Her mistake. I'm going to say it's her mistake. Yes. So all morning we had some stuff to do. We do it. I live on the West Coast, so game starts at noon. The whole morning I'm like, yeah, don't worry. It starts at 12:30. It starts at 12:30. 12:30 rolls around. I turn it on. Game's already started. We see the clock. We've missed 4 minutes, and we're just like, oh, fuck. Oh, we missed 4 minutes. What do you do? And then the score flashes, and it's 14-0. And we're just like... And she is not happy with me at all. And we are not we have a big hole to come out of if we're going to cover that 10-point spread that we both picked Kansas City to go. So couldn't have started any worse for the Chiefs with special team debacles everywhere.
It's funny, just to piggyback on your story real quick. I remember texting you at that moment. I think when it just went 14-0 or 21-0, maybe it was one of the two. I think it was 14-0, like you said. And then you're like, what? How? Like, it's on? I'm like, yeah, bro, it's been going. And I'm just like, how? And I'm just like, punt.
I was just like, yeah,
punt. That's all I wrote.
I knew it was on at that point. I was like, the how was like, how is it 14-0? Because it just didn't seem possible.
Right.
But
quick.
So essentially, I guess the Texans drive, score a touchdown, 3-and-out for the Chiefs, and it turns into a blocked punt touchdown, all in a matter of 4 minutes. So at that point, you're starting to feel okay. I'm personally I'm because of Kristen. I'm a big fan. I'm starting to become a big fan of Andy Reid, and I really want him to get his Super Bowl. I think he deserves one, but I'm starting to feel for this guy because they keep showing him. He looks like he's about to He doesn't look as composed as Andy Reid typically does. Definitely when they trot out Tyreek Hill to return a punt, they're trying to get a spark going. They're down. And then he fumbles the punt return, and then the Texans again pick it up on like the 5-yard line or whatever, and it's just like,
right,
holy crap, could this get any worse for the Chiefs?
Yeah, that was was insane to me. I don't know how a team comes back from such a crazy start either. And I think I was sitting there and I was like, wow, like are the Texans really going to just destroy the Chiefs? But like I feel silly thinking that. Even for a brief moment, I thought like, wow, Chiefs fans, I feel so bad for you. I feel bad for Kristen. I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is like worst case scenario, because like it's not like fluky, but you know it's so special teams oriented, and some of those plays where the Texans scored off of that, you're just like, you just feel so bad for the Chiefs when their season blows up because of some really critical special teams mistakes, which you still like to see. You want to see their offense and see how Mahomes plays, and of course we got to see that very clearly. He stepped up his game.
Let's get
what is your biggest take from here then? From this game?
So my biggest take is the turning point, which I think can be pinpointed to one play followed up by another play. The turning point being the Texans are up 24-0. Oh no! Let me rephrase that. The Texans are up 21-0. Or was it 20? It might have been 24-0.
No, it's 21. You're 21. That's right.
You know where I'm going with this? Okay, so it's no. Oh yeah, it's 21-0 because they're on fourth down. It was like fourth and like 1 or fourth and 2 or something. It was a fourth and short. I'm pretty sure it's fourth and inches. It sucks. I wish wish I had this more memorized, but
it might have been 24 actually. Now that
no, it's definitely 21-0 on this play because
all right,
okay. So they're fourth and inches. And the commentators are like talking, and they're like, oh, "Okay, this they got to go for this. They got to go for this. This would put your foot on the Chiefs' throat if you shut this down, right?"
Yes.
They kind of set up for it, and then I think they call a timeout and decide to kick the field goal to make it 24-0.
Yes.
So okay, that's okay. That's reasonable, right? Like. Okay, you pussied out a little bit. You're not going to go for it. I don't think it's reasonable. I think you shove it down the throat. You go for the jugular.
I think even with that point of just trying to close out with a touchdown, analytics tells you fourth and inches. You got to go for it. You're that far down the field at that point. What the hell are you doing? To me, I think that was definitely the biggest mistake. Just going back week to the Texans in their last matchup. Their opponent, the Bills, did the same exact thing where they settled for field goals at moments where they were in critical points. They could have went for it. You miss it. So what? You know what? They have to drive mostly the whole field. You're inside the 30 at that point. I think fourth and inches, you have to go for it. Texans screwed that up majorly, and their fans got to feel exactly how I felt, blowing a nice big fat lead. Theirs was even bigger, so good job, Texans. Way to outshine us. I appreciate you crumbling. And
yeah, it's kind of funny that followed up like that.
So, it made me happy as hell. This game was great for me, but I know you follow the Chiefs a lot this year.
Yeah, that's why I can talk the most about this game so far out of all the games. But let me finish where I was going with this. So the Chiefs get the moment. This is where they're like, oh my god, we have a chance. They get a little bit of life, and then that's when they get Hardman returns the kickoff for like 50 something yards. They get a touchdown on that score. Very next possession, this is where I was saying how they follow up with another kind of stupid thing. They're in their own end on fourth down, and they go for that fake punt where they get stuffed.
Yes.
It's like you wouldn't go for it when the analytics and that tell you to go for it, and you have a chance to go up 28-0. Instead, on a 4th and 3, you're going for it in your own end. After the Chiefs got a touchdown and like in Arrowhead, the risk just seemed so not worth it at all. I think that was just that might have been the dumb decision of the two, but it just got compounded. So that's where I was going with the turning point. Those two plays, and then Mahomes just went on 7 touchdowns in 7 possessions, NFL record. Craziness.
Yeah.
I think at one point they scored 21 points in 4 minutes or something. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, that was in the second, I think.
Yeah.
Was it in the second? Yeah, because they took the lead that fast. So
yeah.
Second
quarter.
They took the lead right before halftime. Second quarter.
Yeah, I thought you meant second half, but
no. Yeah, second quarter. Yeah, I got to clarify that. But yeah, I did miss some of the very end of that game. I saw the Chiefs come back. I saw them took the lead. I did miss some of the fourth. And I heard about, they continued that streak of possessions. That's just insane. I mean, Kelsey went nuts, like at Watkins, Hill. This team is so loaded.
They're so stacked, man. It's gross.
And Mahomes is so fun to watch.
And they've picked up some salt. Like last year and years before, defense was kind of a hole. Their defense is the best it's been in years too. So like,
right.
I know.
And,
yeah.
It just randomly just thought in my head in this game too. There was 2 wide receivers throwing tried to throw passes, I should say, in this game. I believe Sammy Watkins got sacked or stepped out of bounds. He was trying to get a
he didn't really. He should have thrown it away. He had plenty of time to throw it away in that play. But Sammy Watkins was a part of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my thoughts are the Chiefs. I think the scare that they had at the beginning of this game might be enough adrenaline to just like have them run the table now.
Yeah, I mean, what a uplifting way to win a game. Like that's just so. Yeah, it's got to be so fun for that team. Like emotionally, just charge you up. Like no doubt. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for these matchups this week, which we'll be previewing later. I think on Friday we're gonna get that pod recorded. Yeah. But with this Chiefs game too, we both picked the Chiefs here. This was the one we shared. We had both right. I don't even think we talked last game when you had picked the Titans. I'd picked the Ravens. I don't think we even covered that when we went over.
I did a quick,
but
yeah.
Oh, did you say okay? Yeah. So this is here. You went Kansas City. I went Kansas City. So yeah. This is the one we shared. It looked awful at first.
It looked awful at first. Yeah.
One hell of.
I almost ripped up my own ticket before because I actually bet this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Like real money, so I almost ripped it up. Yeah. But no, I did whisper to Kristen a couple times when it was 24-0. Hey, they can put 14 points up before the half. They can do it. Sure enough, they put up like 21. So
yeah,
maybe. Yeah, so I think that was the most exciting game of the weekend.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure. So that last one here, then we'll wrap it all up with Seahawks and Green Bay.
Yeah, and I believe I say that last one was most exciting. This one didn't disappoint either. I don't think.
No, I'll let you start with this one. We'll start with the Seahawks. We'll go over how you feel about them. But what did you take from the Seahawks this game? They came up short. Marshawn Lynch is maybe done now.
I think this is another. It's going to be silly. I know this happens all the time. It's when people talk about sports, about coaching decisions, blah, 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 blah. But this one, like, the Seahawks looked like they were at halftime, and, like, they looked like they were in a lot of trouble. I believe it was 17-3. I should know these things when I'm going into it, but...
No, I think it was even worse than that. I think it was 21-3.
Yeah, 21-3, you're right. So at halftime it's 21-3.
Yeah.
They didn't look good. They were relying a lot on Marshawn Lynch, and it just seemed weird that they were giving Marshawn Lynch. I know the Seahawks, they're all about trying to set up the run because it helps them with everything else. Mm-hmm. But Marshawn Lynch, he's 3 weeks into this. He's not ready for the full workload, and they gave him 12, end up only having 12 carries, 26 yards, but 2 touchdowns, so he's kind of their ground, kind of what they should have done in that one Super Bowl where they blew it, but everyone talks about.
He's ran in the playoffs. Marshawn Lynch just ran, I'm looking at it right here, 18 attempts for 31 yards.
Yeah, so I don't know, they do. I know this is their weakness because of the injuries.
Beast mode is a little deflated right now. I mean, he's maybe he's just not ready for such a big jump there. But I get the emotional charge of having him on the team. I mean, he's an awesome guy, I think. Mm-hmm. He did get 2 touchdowns, though. I'll give him that. Yeah, wasn't that bad. But yeah, they couldn't get much going for him. I mean, it's not all on him either, but
no, and that's what they did. They figured that out over halftime. They came out. They gave Wilson. Wilson started throwing. Lockett and DJ Metcalf were definitely the targets, and they were the things that got Seattle back into this. Seattle shouldn't have been able to get back into this, but their defense came out really strong in the second half. And it really, like I was getting at with the coaching thing, it came down to which I thought was a strange thing. There's like 3 or 4 minutes left. 4th down with Seahawks. They're down by 5, and they punted it away, hoping their defense would come up. And sure enough, they didn't. But I was just a little surprised considering how well Wilson was doing that half so far. Like, just right. I would think, really well. Yeah, and I would think that at this point in the game, you're gonna want your superstar. I don't know how analytics or any of that works in this kind of situation, but I would have thought you would have went for it on 4th down there. Maybe probably makes sense to punt it away because they did have the timeouts. They had the 2-minute warning. They had they could have given up the 1st down twice and still got the ball back. So like it was possible. Yeah, probably was the right call. But as a fan, it felt like Wilson was like playing his heart out and just seemed like that.
Right.
He had the number of them.
He just let him go, let him try. Yeah. I feel you on that. I think
instead
maybe
he doesn't get a chance.
Defense,
but instead he doesn't even get a chance because of that.
Right. Most times that's where I lie because I feel like if you have the ball, you need to seize that opportunity. And at that point with the time left, down by 5, I mean, I don't know. In that case, I feel like it's definitely I lean towards maybe punting it in that situation. Just because it's down by 5 at that point. Because if they fail it
and they get a field goal, yeah. No, it's understandable.
I mean, but even still, it's one score with it's a 2-point. But
yeah, and the gambler side of me was pretty gross because I had Green Bay and you had Seattle in this, and the spread was 4.5, right? And Seattle gets that. I'm feeling good with Green Bay up 21-3, obviously. And when they start bringing in and they get that touchdown, their last touchdown of the game, I'm just like, please go for 2. Please go for 2 and fail because that's the only way that Green Bay is going to cover this spread, and that's exactly what happened. So there's a little bit of luck involved there too.
Yeah. I forgot exactly what I was going to say there. It just went out of my head. Yeah, where were they? Okay, let's go back to that punt though. What yard line were they at? Do you remember?
I don't.
Approximately.
Probably around midfield.
They passed their 40?
Here, I can check. I have it open, so let's see. Punts, Seattle.
Then I'll tell you, I can give you a better what I would do, my decision. Because honestly, I don't remember. I missed the end. I did not see the end of this game.
Looks like they were on their own 42. On their own 40, basically. So maybe, yeah.
Now, if that would have said if they're like at the 50 or just before the 50, I might have.
I'm looking at it here, and it's so yeah. I realized that they got a 6-yard sack on 3rd down, so they were 3rd and 5, and then they got sacked. So it was a 4th and 11. I thought it was shorter than that.
Oh no, okay, that's sweet. Said a lot too. I think punt is the right decision there. The Packers.
Yeah.
Rodgers was Rodgery. Devontae Adams came out big. Who was that lineman that, like, did you see that? He ran up, they scored the touchdown, he ran up, he grabbed the 2 beers.
No, I didn't see that.
Poured him over his face. Like, it made me really, I was thinking about this this is what I got out of the game. The lineman came over in the celebration. You know, they jump in Lambeau Field, they jump up there. Well, I think maybe Devontae Adams had scored, he jumped up, the lineman came running up. Maybe it was actually Aaron Jones, to be honest. But the lineman came running up, and I apologize. I wish I knew who the lineman was. Now I feel like such an idiot right now. But he grabs 2 beers just sitting on the front stands, picks them up, smashes them, and then just pours them all in his like face mask, and just goes nuts, right? Like it's awesome. But then I started thinking, like, now that fan, and I want to know your take on this. Now, if this happened to you, you're sitting in the front row of this game.
I'd be pissed.
Lambeau Field. Okay, yeah, you got 2 beers in front of you, bro. This guy, you love this player, okay? You love this team. You got to put that in perspective too.
They're $20 beers, man.
Jump up, right? Exactly. He just smashed $32 to $45 worth of beer, and all I thought after that play was that this fucking poor SOB. Can I swear on this thing? Hopefully, this poor SOB has to walk his way up. He's got to walk his way back up to get more beer at the start of the quarter when he just got back, probably waiting in a long-ass line between the third and fourth, where there's a little bit of a longer timeout break.
Yeah.
Probably waited a long-ass time, got back down, or, he just probably flagged the guy, and the guy brought some beer.
Well, this is where I would hope that a good business knows what to do in this situation, in that they have someone that sees this happen and be like, oh shit, and they already have the beers coming back to this guy for free. Like,
I bet you that did not happen.
I bet you it did not, but like,
I bet you it did not. But that's a great thought. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
We need people to watch them when your beers get spilled or dumped.
It reminds me of some baseball sometimes where. Okay, there's a couple that come to mind, but I forget. Oh, like I'm with you. I forget the player who did this. I forget who did it. But anyway, they dove into the foul territory, landed in someone's lap, then grabbed some nachos and ate them out of their nachos. And then later, I think, and then there was another time where it's something similar, and he made the guy's nachos like explode. And then the next inning, that same player comes out to the field with a plate of nachos and gives them to the person. It's kind of funny.
That is fantastic.
But yeah, I'm gonna say I'd be mad because if I had to pay for new beers. But at the same time, you could possibly be a meme or a GIF or whatever for the rest of your life. So. Could be a legend at the same time. So was it worth $40? Probably.
Right.
For the story.
It's definitely quite the experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Packers, they got the win. I was a little surprised. I went with Seattle. You went with Green Bay on this one. So you got that one right. Finished 2-2 this week.
My reasoning for that Green Bay pick probably didn't pan out the way I said it did. Like I said, it comes down to quarterbacks, and I'm giving the edge to Rodgers. I don't know if I would give the edge to Rodgers after watching this game. I don't know if Rodgers is the same Rodgers of the past right now. A lot of his passes were quite a bit off the mark. Some of his receivers made some pretty amazing catches, definitely low and that. So Allison made up some key catches. I don't know if you saw the end of this one where it was a little bit of a controversial third down catch in the fact of where they marked the spot. That ended up cementing the Seahawks loss, but I think they did fine in that spot. But with every NFL game, there's some controversy, but I think the spot was fine and all that was fine. No issues with that. People rely too much on that yellow line that Fox or whoever puts up as being the actual yellow line, and we all know, because they definitely tell us all the time, that it's not the real line.
Yeah, it's not, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So on the Twitterverse, I saw people posting the photo of him being down, and then the yellow line. It's just like, and then you'd see a photo of someone drawing the actual first down line, and it's just like, okay. So
right.
That's where, yeah.
Good point. Yeah. PSA to the peoples. PSA to the peoples, don't trust that yellow line.
That yellow line is,
it can be off, especially on those replays.
But I think this has been one of my favorite weekends in NFL playoffs I've watched. There was a lot of good games, and I missed probably the big upset, but Sunday was definitely very enjoyable for football. And it has me excited for this conference that's going to be coming up next week. I think both those games are going to be good.
Definitely, and I agree with you with Rodgers. I give the edge to Wilson just on the quarterback play. And if Green Bay is actually going to beat the 49ers, he's going to have to be sharp. So maybe it was just having that week off. He's a little rusty, back into kind of the groove of things, but. He'll need to be for this game, but yeah, what a good weekend. I had a great time watching the games. I missed some of them, like I missed the ending of that Seahawks Packers game, which is a little unfortunate. But I watched some highlights of it all. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Saturday was big for me. I watched a lot of the games on Saturday.
Once we start getting paid to watch these games, then we won't miss anything.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Right now, having lives and other things going on. It's tough sometimes.
Kind of. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really really fun weekend. So we'll be back later this week.
We'll I think Friday you're thinking will be the day, right? We'll do we'll do a live thing on Friday.
record it on Friday, get it out on YouTube.
So if you're watching
that
this,
night.
subscribe, hit the bell, and then you'll know when we're going live, and you can come and chirp us as we make the most amazing picks that you'll ever get.
Yeah. Well, we have a winning record right now. Let's
Yeah.
shit out, see which one of us comes. Maybe if we tie up, we'll have to pick the Pro Bowl. So we better not tie up. So
yeah, maybe not. Sounds good, man. Thanks for joining me, and we'll be back soon. Peace.